Today, I'm going to show you the strategy I've put in place to be confident with cryptocurrencies and ultimately be profitable with them, especially with Memecoins. When I started, I really had no foundation at all. I bought Bitcoin for the first time in 2018. I traded a bit of shitcoins on BNB in 2020 to 2021, and I also bought some EGLD and a few NFTs at the time. But that's where my experience ends. I was never a big trader, and in the end, I tried a little, but I never had any major results in crypto trading or anything else. And in March 2024, I got into meme coins. And, at that time, Pump Fun was still pretty new. Despite that, I recognized the opportunity. I told myself it was still something interesting. So I did it a bit on my own. And in the end, I really made a lot of bad choices, a huge number of bad choices, and I'm going to explain them to you. Basically, I lost about $250,000. And when you lose that kind of money, you can just accept it like that. Especially since these losses were actually, in fact, I had profits, but I refused to take them because I wanted to catch the next 100x, the next 1000x. And that honestly is pretty frustrating because you can tell yourself that you were actually profitable. And if I had just taken my profits at the time, I would be much more profitable today. But it's really frustrating, especially since a lot of people around me were actually making money with pump fund and so on. Even with pump fund trading, and in the end, I kept trying to figure out why they were profitable. And in the end, really, I tried everything I could, but I just couldn't do it. So from that moment on, as soon as I lost my $250,000, it was in June, I think 2024, I told myself, okay, I absolutely have to get it back. I absolutely have to find a solution so I don't get scammed anymore by rugs or that kind of thing. So in the end, I decided I'm going to team up with a friend who's a developer. We developed a bot that analyzes the blockchain in real time. Now, said like that, it might sound very basic, but honestly, my goal was to get my money back and make at least double or triple, so to be in the green. And really, that was the only thing that mattered to me at that time. And no matter how long it would take, I had to make it happen. So that's where Captain Cook was born. And honestly, we gave everything we had to this project. We really wasted a lot of time and money. And to tell you a bit about the challenges, we had to analyze the blockchain in real time, everything that was happening, the connections between all the wallets. Honestly, I think we spent at least 4 months pulling all-nighters. Really, maybe we were sleeping 2 hours a night, 2 or 3 hours a night. And it was a really, really tough pace. We spent a huge amount of money on APIs, and we also hired other developers. Honestly, I sweated over it. My partner sweated over it to create this product, to create this bot. And honestly, looking back, if I had known it was going to be this hard, I think neither my friend nor I would have ended up starting this project in the end. But our mindset at that time was really, okay, we both need to get back what we lost. And also, we thought it was going to be simple. In the end, okay, since we can easily imagine it, actually building it might be a little more complex, but it's still something that's doable. At least that's what we told ourselves. And so actually this belief that in the end it was simple to accomplish, even though it was actually extremely complicated, helped us keep going until the end because we truly believed in it. So we persevered for months and months with sleepless nights and spending money like crazy. And actually, we developed a first version that we kept to ourselves with a win rate of about 60%. And we got our money back, in my case, the $250,000 in 3 months with Captain Cook. Captain Cook is the version you can access for free today. So in the end, It's really just an AI that will try to not exactly trade, but filter all the coins that are launched on Solana. And the idea really is to analyze everything that's happened on the blockchain. Who launched this crypto? What are people saying on Twitter? Who is following the projects? Who got in? Also, the connections between wallets, the hidden wallets of people who are more or less important. And honestly, that's very complicated to set up, extremely complicated to implement. But the fact is, in the end, it worked and we managed to quickly recover our funds. And honestly, at that moment, we were just so happy, really so thrilled. I think at that moment, as soon as we saw it was working, we took a break for maybe 3 or 4 days. And we said to ourselves, okay, now we're going to double, triple it. We're going to crush it. So we kept on trading with Captain Cook and we were very profitable. We doubled, even tripled our capital, which was great. I'm not saying we never got rugged or that there was never any scam, but we had a good win rate. And in fact, each time we kept improving and improving. And today we're at about an 80% win rate on the VIP. That's the paid version. It's paid simply so that you help cover the costs because it's extremely expensive to keep this machine running. So if we kept it just for ourselves, that would be fine. I mean, we wouldn't need anything more than that. Now, to make it available to more people, of course, we have to charge for it. And to be transparent, it's also a source of income, though a very, very small one. But there you go, it's also another project. So if you want to get that 80% win rate, you can join the VIP. You can contact me directly on Telegram. So that's that. But actually, there's a problem with that. We really got a lot of results, as I explained to you. But we had a really big problem with it, which was that in the end, we were always in zombie mode. Yeah, we were always in zombie mode, glued to our screens. We had to log in. We couldn't miss any call that was posted on our Telegram. And in the end, we always had to be on the lookout. And honestly, it was a pretty tough period, whether for me, my business partner, my wife, or his girlfriend, because we really had no life, actually. And on top of that, it was frustrating for us. When we slept, there was a huge amount of activity going on. In the end, there were tons of Memecoins launching, cryptocurrencies multiplying by 10, by 100, and so on. So we were missing out on them. And when we stayed awake, absolutely nothing was happening. So it was really, really frustrating. Honestly, I think I caused myself a lot of stress during that time, and even to those close to me, to my wife and so on, because I was really extremely focused on that. And in the end, it just wasn't normal. And so it also had other impacts on my other entrepreneurial activities. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. And in the end, it took precedence over my results in my entire life, in my relationships, in my business, in my finances, really even in my mindset, in my overall well-being and so on. And then even in my overall quality of life, really what I was eating, the dark circles under my eyes and so on. Honestly, I was really at my lowest. Even though I was making money almost every day, I was truly at my lowest in every other aspect. So at that point, I told myself, stop, this can't go on. I can put my wife through this and I can do this to myself either. So I set myself a new goal, and that new goal was simply to make as much money as possible while spending the least amount of time possible in front of screens, basically to have a better life. Almost like Tim Ferriss's 4-hour work week. The idea is really to spend as little time as possible. I know it might sound very strange, but that's the goal we set for ourselves. Again, we thought it would be very easy to achieve. We told ourselves it was possible, that there was a way after all. If we can do it manually, then it means we can automate it. It might sound a bit pretentious, but today, if Elon Musk manages so well, of course, he's not alone. He has teams of engineers, etc. Obviously, But that guy still managed to believe that you could land pieces of rockets automatically. Here we're talking about physical matter. It's really something, and we're talking about tons and tons in terms of weight. So it's still something pretty incredible. So I thought to myself, can I just do something that automates what I do with my own logic, with the way I trade and make decisions, but even better eliminate the emotional aspect of trading and really try to do this as well as possible. So I tried out a few solutions on the market that already existed, but honestly, they were pretty mediocre. It was really, really, really mediocre. And it was far from our expectations, from the vision I had. And actually, it didn't offer exactly what I wanted. So basically, the idea was to trade every crypto that came through Captain Cook 24 hours a day, you know? So really being active all the time. And in the end, the real challenge was not to miss the 100-fold gains and to actually catch those 100-folds. You know, these kinds of cryptocurrencies are extremely volatile. So as a result, the entry point is super important, as well as adjusting the stop loss. So basically, the stop loss is when you decide to take a loss, to stop losing hands, stop loss. It's when you decide to stop taking a loss, well, when you decide to put an end to your trade and take a loss. And then, of course, there's also the take profit. So the idea is that your stop loss should allow you to keep as much of the profits you've made on other trades as possible. And your take profit needs to be as high as possible to make up for the losses from other trades. And in the end, there isn't a single comprehensive solution available today that truly offers something specifically suited to this particular market, something genuinely adapted to high volatility, significant high risk with prevalent pump and dump schemes and so on. And on top of that, one that allows you to filter the entire blockchain with AI and end up with only quality calls, in other words, quality cryptocurrencies. So we worked twice as hard on this new version. We call it the ultimate version in-house. I've been using it myself for 3 months now. I'm going to talk to you about the results I've achieved and how I achieved them. I'll also show you what it looks like. That way you can really see the results I've gotten, and it's pretty crazy. But concretely, how does it work? So it's actually quite simple. Let's imagine you enter weight. Let's see it live. Let's say we'll take this as an example. Here, for example, let's imagine you enter here at 16K market cap. Okay, the stop loss will be at minus 50%. Okay, so let's say it'll be around 8K market cap, all right? So if it hits 8K market cap, your stop loss will be triggered. But if the crypto pumps, okay, for example, if it goes to 40K market cap, right? Well, the stop loss will readjust, and readjust again. But since the market cap is still very low at this point, we're actually going to give it a lot of leeway. So for example, we'll allow it to automatically, without you having to do anything, we'll let it drop back down to 20K market cap, for instance. So if it gets triggered there, well, you've still made a profit, okay? And if it doesn't get triggered, well, it'll just keep going up. And actually, the idea we wanted to implement and that we did implement was that the higher it goes, the tighter the stop loss becomes. That means that here with small market caps, it's extremely wide and still allows you to exit with profits. And with small and with large market caps like this, the higher it goes, the tighter it gets. We're going to allow 5-10%, it depends on the market cap. And the idea actually is that we won't allow it to zigzag all over the place. We want to secure profits and reach as high as possible. So that's determined by several factors. It's determined by your entry point. It's also determined by the multiple we currently have that you have. And above Ireland, this was really the hardest thing to implement. It's due to timing. And ultimately, well, a human doesn't really understand this aspect. That means it's very complicated. In fact, it's very rare for a human to understand this. But from the moment a crypto's momentum is over or it reaches finally its ATH, that's when you need to exit. You see, you need to have perfect timing in the market, and that's very complex for a human. But actually, from the moment there are small fluctuations or it fluctuates a lot, a timer is triggered. And if it doesn't bounce back within X seconds, let's say 10 or 15 seconds, if it doesn't bounce back, or if there aren't any strong upward movements within those few seconds, then the position will automatically be closed. So the idea for the future is that everyone can adapt their own strategy. I have my own strategy and it works. That's what I'm offering today, and I'll talk to you about it a bit later. But honestly, I don't want to take any risks. I really want this to be profitable every day, and in the end, just forget about all of it and let it trade automatically every day. Now, I'm finally going to talk to you about the results I've achieved in 3 months. In the end, out of my own pocket, I only put in one SOL. Once we knew it worked, once we said to ourselves, okay, what's the best strategy? How do I make good trades and so on? Once I implemented all that into the bot, I put one SOL into the system, and 3 months later, I'm at 380 SOL, all of it automatically. Like, I absolutely never traded myself. Okay? So I'm going to show you what it actually looks like. So this here is Captain Cook Ultimate. You can see here I've traded 1200 coins. Here I've won almost 900, and there are 350 losses. So the losses, it's just when I exited with a small loss, you'll see. It's not a huge amount of losses, but you'll see it's still something to take into account. On average, my bot trades, it takes 13 trades per day. There you go. And we have a win rate of 71%, so that's pretty huge, really. So there you have it. The position size is 0.4 SOL per position. I might increase it since I made 38,000% in 3 or 4 months. And so I'll explain to you a little bit how it works. So concretely, you'll get this directly on Telegram. This is my version. So it sits managed directly in-house on my own server. But you get it directly on Telegram if you're part of it. So for example, if I look at the live trading from the last 48 hours, I can see how much I've made, how much I've lost. Here I made 110%. Here I made 3 SOL. That's huge. Here I made 16 SOL. Damn, that's really incredible. I did 43 times my money. Wow. Okay, I need to go check that crypto. Here I made 8 SOL. Here I made 2 SOL. Here I made 3 SOL. Okay, it's really. Oh, look, here's a loss. I lost 0.12 SOL, so it's very rare for me to lose everything. And honestly, compared to everything I win, it's pretty incredible. By the way, you should know that behind all this, there's also Captain Cook here, and you can actually go check for yourself. So everything that happens with the calls we make, it seems to me, there you go, actually. Yeah, this is the 47 times multiplier that I also got. So I did it automatically without really thinking about it. So that's cool. And in the end, that's how it works. So finally, to wrap up the video, what I want to tell you is that I'm going to open up 5 spots quite simply for you to set this up on your own Telegram. You will have your own wallet, you will have your own private key. I have no access to anything at all. And of course, there is a cost involved. It's extremely expensive to develop a bot like this and to keep it running 24/7. So we don't take any fees on the transactions you make. There's just a setup fee and also a monthly subscription. But for the first 5, there will only be the setup costs and the subscription is free for life. So basically, if you want to be part of it, you can just send me a message. However, there are still a few criteria. If you really are a complete beginner and I mean, if you don't even know what I'm talking about, it's really best not to contact me and instead just join the free or VIP group. So there you go. If you're really not advanced, there's absolutely no point in contacting me. Just a reminder, you need to do your own research. You need to form your own opinions on absolutely everything I've told you in this video. I'm not an investment advisor. I don't give any investment advice. I'm just sharing my own experience with you. I'm not telling you to take inspiration from it. I'm not saying I'm a role model. I'm not saying this is investment advice. So there you go. I just wanted to be clear about that. In any case, if you're interested, you can contact me and I'd be very happy to tell you a bit more. But again, I'm not an investment advisor. Thank you so much for watching this video. So just before I let you go, I'd like to add something very important. Actually, on each video, you can earn a few souls because you see, I set that up to run automatically. I also have another business running. So basically, I want to grow this community. So if you share the link, if you simply leave comments, subscribe, and so on, you always have a chance to win some Solana. Sometimes I send 0.5, 1 soul, 2 souls, 3 souls. It depends a little on my mood, but basically all you have to do is leave a nice comment and also tell me what you thought of the video as a whole. And honestly, if I see that you like it, that you enjoy the content and so on, I'll send you some Solana directly. It would really make me happy to share all of this as well. So there you go. Don't hesitate to leave comments, subscribe, and also leave your address so I can simply send you a Solana. So that's it. This was Lamri. See you in another video. Ciao.